So the topic we wanted to talk about today was mental health. And it's something that's relevant in really any life or industry. I don't think it's specific.
Mental health is real. You need to look after yourself, make sure you're mentally okay. It all matters. But
your thoughts are the most powerful thing. If people knew how powerful your thoughts were, like you'd never think a bad thought again for the rest of your life. That's how powerful they
are the most powerful thing.
No, you need to be resilient sometimes because it builds character. If you've got the calluses and you've trained and you've gone through those difficult things, when they do come up again in the future, it's not going to be as bad.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do we not overvalue it, but are we giving people an easy way out?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Days. I hope you're having a $1 million day. I am Top George, and I'm joined with a friend, colleague, an esteemed gentleman and scholar, Mr. Robert Chakere.
What a fantastic introduction.
It's good, isn't it?
I love it.
Getting better, Adam.
I feel like you're getting very comfortable.
I am.
I like it.
I am. I'm in my happy place.
Honestly, I look forward to this part of the week so much.
Yeah, it's good.
It's almost too much.
And I know you guys are too.
Yeah. I was saying that to plant the seed.
Nice. What's cracking, man?
Oh, bit of this, bit of that.
What's cracking, crackers? Another day, another episode. Thanks for joining us. Pumped to be here as always. Today, we're going to cover a topic which is talked about a lot, do you reckon? I think more so now.
Yes, 100%. It's definitely talked about a lot. But I think also, is it talked about in the right fashion?
Don't know. I think I don't know if it's. Let's actually tell everyone what the topic is. We don't need to dance. We don't need to dance around it.
Hanging. Keep it hanging.
You want to keep people hanging?
Take a guess.
Well, I don't think it's approached the right way. That's for sure. I reckon people are too quick to go down a certain path to help them with this problem.
Yes, I agree.
Good. So the topic we wanted to talk about today was mental health. And it's something that's relevant in really any life or industry. I don't think it's specific. Yes, there's more stressful roles in business and in life than others, and scenarios for sure. But ultimately, it comes down to the individual and how it reacts on them, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm going to preface what I'm going to say by saying this. It's real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do we not overvalue it, but are we giving people an easy way out?
Potentially. Yeah, potentially. So if you haven't guessed already, we've already told the topic, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, all right. I thought for a second we hadn't told everyone. Yeah, potentially.
What were you doing? You told them.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially. So, yeah, as you said, it's definitely a real thing. It's more. I was speaking to someone a while ago, late last year, and we're talking about mental health, and I think a lot of people when they say mental health, it's like, okay, well, let's get on antidepressants.
Yes.
All right. It's like the very first thing, and you know what? You'd probably be surprised how many people are on it and you wouldn't even know.
Antidepressants?
Yeah. I reckon there's a lot of people that are on it that you wouldn't even have any idea about. And I am one that, I don't think again, I don't know where I am at in my life, but I don't think I would ever be in a position where I'd want to take antidepressants. And that's not judging anyone that does. I'm just saying from my own perspective, as hard as life has been or may get in the future, I don't think I would ever jump on that aspect. And the conversation I was having with someone is like, antidepressants are just a Band-Aid.
100%.
And you're just masking the real underlying issue instead of really working on getting rid of it and living either with it or moving on from it.
I 100% agree. You're not actually fixing the problem at hand. You're just, I like to, Band-Aid's a great analogy. I like to say you're numbing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if you get headaches every day and you just keep taking, and you're like, I'm going to buy Nurofen in bulk. It's like, that doesn't fix the problem, dude. Like, you know what I mean? If you're getting headaches every day, you need to work out what's causing the headache.
Yeah.
And antidepressants don't allow you to do that.
And it's something that you get addicted to as well.
Oh, dude, have you seen the American stats? I think it's like 1 in every 5 women is on an antidepressant.
Yeah.
That's massive.
$1 trillion industry. You know what I mean? Just from that drug alone.
Big pharma, eh?
Yeah, that's it. So
what the fuck are we doing? Wrong industry.
So yeah, I think it's become the norm too. It's like, oh, just have some antidepressants. Just have that, you'll be fine. And then people get hooked on it. It was actually on a TV episode, a TV show a couple nights back where they were saying people are getting hooked on antidepressants and now can't get off it or having severe withdrawals from trying to stop getting off these things because they're full on it. It fucks with your head.
Oh, like yeah, it's a physical addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think it's an easier solution. It's an easier fix than facing the problem head on, than trying to deal with it. And it's probably a quicker fix too, at least in the short term, where you can take it and go, cool, I feel numb or feel better. Yeah. Whereas opposed to sitting down and going through heaps of therapy or whatever it might be, dealing it with yourself in your own way, that's a longer process and it's harder to do.
Yeah, I agree. Here's my I don't want to call it a dispute, but here's where what I don't like about how we speak about mental health. I feel like we give people an out too easily. I feel like, I'll give you an example just for context. Mental health is real. You need to look after yourself, make sure you're mentally okay. It all matters. But
your thoughts are the most powerful thing. If people knew how powerful your thoughts were, like you'd never think a bad thought again for the rest of your life. That's how powerful they
are the most powerful thing. But here's my issue with it in the way we handle it as a society. Not in it's a thing. It's not saying it's not a thing, it's a thing. But the way we handle it as a society, here's my issue. I feel like we bring it up so much that people, I used to work with a guy and he was a shit worker, dude. Like, you know, when people with a shit work ethic, he was like that. He didn't have a good work ethic. He was very victim guy, you know, been in the same role for ages, had not progressed at all. And he used to every now and again be like, I'm going to take a day off tomorrow. I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, mental health day. And I'd be like that's you're playing the mental health card. And I don't like that. I feel like it is a big...
And that's you as a fellow employee. You weren't even the business owner.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's a dud.
Yeah.
Not because... Dude, look, if he was genuinely trying everything... This guy would drink every night. This guy would... You know what I mean? He was not... Didn't eat clean, didn't work hard. He'd be gone by 3-4 o'clock every day. And it was like, you don't try and make your life better in any way at all. Like... You could, dude, he could have did so well. Like he was this was in real estate. And he was a fairly well-known person in the area, but he was just so done and so victim-like. And I don't like the way we give people an out too easily. You know, and is it are we bringing it to awareness more, or is it we're making people think about it and therefore they think they have...
I think it's definitely a level of awareness is greater now than what it ever has been in the past.
Without a doubt.
You know, if my parents walked into work and said, "Hey, I'm need some mental health day,"
they would
have got bashed. They would have been shown the door and say, "Yeah, cool, just check your mental health at the door and don't come back."
Yeah,
that's what it would have been. Like, what's that? So then it definitely has come full circle as far as now. Anything it's like almost as soon as something is hard or difficult or stress, as you said, it gives you that excuse to go, oh, well, you know, this isn't good for me. I'm just going to check out.
Yeah, and I need to get my mental
and there's a level of you need to understand that life's hard. Life's not easy.
Yeah,
lifing. It's not easy.
Lifing.
I'm gonna trademark that.
Lifing.
it's not easy. It's hard. There are difficult things in your life. You need delayed gratification on things. You've got to work for it. It has to be heartache. There has to be blood, sweat, and tears to achieve certain things in your life. And I think too many people, as you have said, will just go down the path, oh, well, that's not good for me and my mental space, so I'm not going to do that. No, you need to be resilient sometimes because it builds character. And when more difficult things come up in the future, which they will, it doesn't stop. It's not like, oh, I experienced that difficult time in my life. Thank God that's over and I never have to go through anything like that ever again. Because something's going to come up.
Yeah.
And if you've got the calluses and you've trained and you've gone through those difficult things, when they do come up again in the future, it's not going to be as bad. You're going to be so much better and resilient and a better person and be better for the people around you for having gone through difficult things. So I believe every person, particularly men, need to have difficulties in their life because it builds character. It builds resilience. It builds that unwavering belief that no matter what happens, not even this can stop me.
Yeah. Also, when you do, I heard this really cool saying where it was something along the lines of, when you do hard things on purpose, everything else becomes easy. Do you know what I mean? And then the things that come up that would have otherwise, because it's like kind of like you're setting the bar, or you're setting a standard. Do you know what I mean? And if you can get up and you can go for a run when you don't want to, or go to the gym, or have a cold shower or ice bath, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Whatever works for you, and you can do that to kick off your day, it allows everything else to sort of, everything else becomes, like it's like everything else compared to that start is like down here now, you know, and it just becomes easier from there. It just becomes a flow-on effect.
Yeah.
And I feel like we give people, I feel like we overcorrected. I feel like we overcorrect as a society. And I feel like
without a doubt.
Yeah, and I feel like we give people
We've become
easy
soft.
a way out. Because when people have the easy way out, they'll take it.
Yeah, it's human nature.
Yeah.
Path of least resistance.
And I feel like that's what's happening with that at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's never the person who's grinding. It's never the person who is, has a high work ethic or like that person never.
Best shape of their life.
Best shape of their life has, you know what I mean? He's doing everything right, or she is doing everything right. It's never that person. It's always the one who is having Maccas for lunch and does no exercise at all, and their sleeping pattern is a mess, and you know what I mean? They're not looking after their basic, and then they'll take it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not doing the foundational things right, and then you go and you take this
drug.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how do I say it without sounding like a dick.
Okay, let's put this into context. Sound like a dick and just everyone understand that he's not a dick. Do you know what I mean? So say it, but just understand that we're just having the discussion about everything there's going to be, this whole topic, because it is a sensitive topic for a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
You either experience it or know someone that is, someone close to you that is. Still thinking of another word.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
get the thesaurus.com.
Put it into words. Thesaurus.com. Can I use your account?
Yeah, give you my login details.
It's Top George.
Top George
at Hotmail. It's like, because there's a line. Yeah, there's a line between mental health and then mental illness. But I think dispute's the right word here, or my issue. My issue with it. My issue with it is this. It's a fact that when we raise, and I'm not saying we should never raise awareness around this, but I'm saying that when you put something at the forefront consistently, when what you focus on expands. Yeah. So if you constantly believe that something is going to happen to you, there's a good chance it will.
Yeah.
And if you consistently focus on these things that aren't great and consistently put them in front of, I'll give you another example. This is it's something else that society's done that's shown you, and you can see that, I saw this the other day, LGBTQ, yeah? Previous generation, so what's the current one, Gen Z or whatever it is? Gen Z is the one that's like in the workforce now, like they've come into the workforce in the last sort of 5 years. Prior to that, millennials 1 out of every 20, I think it's either 1 out of every 20 or 1%. I think it's 1% of millennials were LGBTQ. So they were either lesbian, gay, bi, or trans, whatever. Now, Gen Z, so the current generation that's coming to the workforce, where they grew up in a time where it has been so put in front of them. This was a study done in the US, by the way, where it was put so much in front of them. You know, they experienced it more in school. Like did you get taught it in school?
No, never.
Yeah, me either. But now it's full on in schools, yeah? And they got taught it in schools, and now 1 out of every 5 identifies as either LGBTQ or Q.
Yeah.
So like from 1% or 1 in 20, whatever it was a much smaller number, to 1 in 5, 20%. That's what it was, sorry. It was 1% to 20%. So it went from 1% identified as it to 20% now identify as either lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans. And it's like, what's changed? Apart from us raising the level of awareness, what's changed? Have we changed as humans? Like, have we biologically changed? Not really.
Yeah, not at all.
In 20 years, we won't change that much. Biology happens, evolution happens over thousands and millions of years. So what's changed? Nothing. They just started putting it more at the forefront of your mind, and people started to relate to it.
That's right.
So my issue
because
with
if I'm different, then I must be the plus or the Q or whatever it is. Because, and that's exactly my issue with that as well. It's like when they start using pronouns. Like I think I've said this in a previous episode. Like I will never ever disclose my pronouns. If someone asks me to disclose my pronouns, I'm going to leave the room. Like it's not a place I want to be in. If you can't fucking figure it out, you told me. Yeah,
I did that, and I left, and I was like, "This is fucked."
It's
like,
just silly. Like I see it's such what a just ridiculous concept. But the fact that if you're teaching that at schools, like then you are putting an idea
you're planting
into
a
someone.
seed.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're planting a seed.
So
and
then the time now I feel a bit different. Then I must be a them or whatever. I must be a cat. I must be a hose. Like whatever you're going to be.
You probably just need to eat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're probably just hungry.
Yeah. So yes, I definitely think there is that element of it, and people. I reckon the vast majority of people don't think like that. Believe it or not, I think the vast majority of people. There is
20%.
20,
1 in 5.
Okay, but still 1 in 4 don't. But the other, what I hate about that aspect, yeah. But the other aspect of it as well, it's like if you don't feel that way, like even us having this conversation like this, right now, if we had that in front of someone that's far left, they would fucking lose their mind. Lose their mind, all right? Lose their absolute mind and say we're bigots, we're homophobes, whatever you want to call us. But it's not. It's just fact. I'm a logical person. You can't turn around and just change because you feel a certain way that makes it so. It's not true. It's not a real thing. Now, when coming back to what you're saying, because I think the whole point of what you're saying is, if the government or the school started putting out stuff about Greeks are inferior to Australians, like that's a thing now. Do you know what I mean? Then eventually it would become a belief. I'm just saying. I'm just saying if that was something ridiculous. But say if they brought out an idea, and then just planted that, and then started teaching the
ideology, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then they planted in your head. Everything is planted in your head, dude. How much of what you got taught, do you question? Most people don't question anything.
When I was in school,
they're like, "Oh yeah, the sky's blue. Because it's because of gases." Well, it must be. 1 plus 1 must be 2. Yeah.
You didn't.
If they're teaching us this, like
you didn't question. And if you did, you were like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Like, why are you normal?
Yeah.
Like, stop being difficult and learn the curriculum.
So here's my issue with it. It's just come to my mind now that you've said that. The way we've handled this is the way we've handled the LGBTQ thing. And all we do at the moment is we raise awareness around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I don't know the stats, so if I'm wrong here, deal with it. We haven't made it better. Do you feel like we've made it better?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I'm pretty sure suicide rates are not down.
No.
Like things,
they're
you know what I
probably
mean?
up, if anything.
Yeah. So it's like we haven't just raising awareness around this hasn't fixed the problem at hand. You know,
it's not exactly right. People are not being proactive in the sense that it's not giving the solution. It's just highlighting the problem.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, I saw this TED Talk. I saw a snippet of it. And it was an Asian guy. He was dressed like in an old, I don't know what that Asian thing is, but do you know what I'm talking about? Like that old sort of uniform thing. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, if I find it, I'll link it. I'm not going to link it. And he talks about how back in the day, he says his people, they live in a very cultural lifestyle.
I think I've seen this.
And he talks about how he goes,
yes,
my people don't have time to be depressed.
Yes, I've seen
this. You know, we don't have time to sit there and consider this ideology or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
We don't have time to even think about that. Like we need to go and our focus is on getting food. You know what I mean? And it's like,
is he like a monk or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
It was something like that. I saw this clip.
Something old school.
Yeah.
Some sort of something. I'm not sure. Yeah, but you've probably seen it.
I definitely have.
Yeah.
I love the concept of what he was saying and what you're saying.
Yeah. And he's like, we don't have time for that. Like they don't have time to sit there and say, dude, fuck, so much shit's going on in my head. When I was in real estate and COVID hit, I was probably 6 months into COVID, I reckon around June, I was pretty flat. Yeah, like I was flat. And the place I worked at had those employee assistance programs? Yeah. So I said, all right, cool, let me call. It was like a psych or something. So I was like, all right, cool, let me call and I'll just have a chat. And then I called and they put me onto this lady. And I was like, hey. And then she was like, and I was just unmotivated. Yeah, compared to how I normally am. I wasn't like, wouldn't get out of bed or anything. I just was not, like I wasn't pumped.
Yeah.
And I called this lady and I have a chat with her and then she starts telling me that I'm depressed. And I'm like, thinking to myself, what? And she's like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel like this. Like it's okay, you know what I mean? And trying to get me to acknowledge that I'm depressed. And I never called her back because I thought, you're tripping, you're depressed and you're trying to make, like, if I had a bad mindset or if I wasn't mentally strong in that moment, she may have been able to influence me and convince me that I was depressed and I could have went home and sat there. Wow.
And bought into it.
I'm depressed.
Yeah,
I
really
must be depressed. I'm going through depression.
Yeah.
What do I do? Get some Xanax.
Yeah. They'll say, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain.
Isn't that disgusting, dude?
Yeah, but I think a lot of that's happening. And this is another thing. It's like a lot of GPs, and this was on the program that I watched the other night, saying a lot of GPs are referring antidepressants to patients. It's like, yeah, but you're not a psychologist. Like you're not sitting down with that person and trying to go through that root cause of what's causing it.
GPs have no idea, dude.
I know. They're general practitioners. Like they're going over everything and go, okay, yeah, here, I'll give you this prescription, go have it half a day, once a day, whatever it is. And then, people are getting on it and feeling good for the short term and not fixing anything in the long term. That's the biggest problem with it. And yeah, there you go. You've just hit that nail on the head. I think there's going to be a lot of scenarios that are like that. Now, not to say that there are genuinely people out there that haven't had traumatic experiences where they're mentally affected by that and suffer from their past experiences to leading to where they are today. And then potentially they, all their actions and everything they do that follow thereafter just lead into a spiral downwards. Like your mate that you used to work with at the real estate, he would drink. And then drinking would lead into not rocking up at work or having a mental health day or leading to drugs or then, just drowning his sorrows in everything and then him coming to work and then seeing all this stuff, like you're saying, it's everywhere and beyond blue and calling all these people to help you to get you through this difficult thing. And like, I'm not saying any of these platforms are bad, but he'll get bought into that and go, cool, yeah, I'm depressed, I'm suffering, I'm this. But then where's the end point? Like if I have a headache, yeah, I'm going to take some Panadol, but I'm not taking it for the next 6 days. I'll take it once and then I'll move on and my headache will go away. Or I'll realise I'm not drinking enough water or I didn't get enough sleep last night or I'm overworked. Like, listen to your body. What's the plan to not be on the antidepressants? And I think that's what people are lacking. Maybe it is a combination of speaking to someone and getting that assistance from there. But what's the plan to then eventually go to them, okay, on this day, we're done. Like no more after that. You're going to have the skills, the tools, the means to not be on assisted medication for your mental health.
Yeah. A good psychologist will do that.
Yeah. And do you think there are ones that are not good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Sadly.
Because it's also a business for them too. The longer you're there getting treatment, the more money they're making.
Yeah, because it's like consistent.
They're a patient.
It's a flawed model, isn't it?
Well, it's also something I've heard in the past as well. Depression isn't real. Okay? If you don't believe in it, how could you believe it to be real? If you don't believe that being depressed is possible, then how could you be depressed?
See, that's the thing. Imagine I believed that lady. Like, imagine I actually bought into what she was saying, and I was like, "You must be right. Like, you must be right. I must be depressed."
You're a professional.
Hey,
you're a professional.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You're qualified. You must be right. I must be depressed. And then I went and bought into all that. Like that could have taken me down a whole different path. Yeah. All because someone put a label on you or identify. That's what I'm saying. This is my issue with it.
It's with everything.
It's the easy way out.
Imagine this is what, like, your words are so powerful too, and can mean a lot as well. If I kept telling you that you're a failure, and you bought into that, like, guess what you're going to grow up to be as a kid? If I kept saying you're a failure, you're a dud, you're no good, what are you going to grow up to be?
A failure.
Chances are you probably will grow up to be a failure because you won't believe that you can do anything great. Or if you're hearing that from your spouse, your parents, your brother, your sister, your friends, you're a dud, you're a loser, you're this, you're this, you're this. Like,
I can't take the word dud.
I know, I use it a lot. But that's what you'll end up becoming part of your belief system. And you need to break that. You need to break that belief system. People genuinely will believe they will never make $1 million in a day. They will never make $1 million one day. They just don't believe it in a year. They don't think that's in the realm of their possibility of being able to achieve.
Most people can't even fathom it, yeah.
That's right. And because they have that mindset, guess what? They're never going to achieve those things. There are people out there that make $1 million a minute, and you're concerned about not being able to make it in a year, in 10 years. But if your belief system doesn't change around that, well then yes, that's what's going to be your reality. And I try to look at it from that perspective as well. There's nothing, just because you're sad or upset doesn't make you depressed.
Yeah.
You can have, that's a feeling, like you can have that. That's an emotion.
You are not that.
That's right.
You're not sad. You're feeling sad.
Have you been depressed in the past?
I have felt depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you say depressed, so do you think it was more a sadness or an intense emotion? Or would you actually say, no, I was in a bad place? When I say bad place, like not in a regular place. It doesn't have to be suicidal or anything like that.
See, it's hard to. What is depression?
I don't know. That's a thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to describe it because it's going to be very different for very.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have I felt flat in the past? Yeah. Have I felt a little bit lost? Yeah. Have I felt unhappy with particular things or parts in my life? Yeah.
And everyone's going to go through that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Life is hard. It's not going to be easy. You're always going to come across something like that. Even when you hit the pinnacle, dude. One of a family friend of mine, like has everything you could ever think about in his life, like hundreds of millions of dollars, everything, world at their feet. Like nothing was a no to them, nothing. And then they had the passing of a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know what I mean? Everything can go away in that instant. Now, how do they deal with that? You know, and that's something that if that was to ever happen to me, like again, touch wood, I just don't even know what would happen and how I would be. I couldn't give you that answer. I couldn't give you that answer right now. I would like to think that, like, obviously you'd be destroyed and at the worst thing, I don't know, would I be able to get up out of bed? Don't know. would I want to keep going? Yeah, like time will pass everything. Like time, as I say, heals all wounds. And I would try and find purpose in other things because I still have a life. I still have family.
Yeah.
I still have people I love and care for. It's not fair that I give up on myself for that of others. And I think that's what drives me too. You know, ultimately that's what drives me is other people are reliant on me.
Something outside of yourself.
Oh, yeah. And maybe that's another thing too. Maybe these people don't have purpose. They feel that they've lost their purpose and their identity in that regard. And that's where they buy into, okay, well, I'm useless, I'm this, I don't have this, I've got these problems, I'm no good.
So is it, okay, I agree, but is it that people are actually, why is it higher now than ever? Like, do you think people are losing purpose now more than ever?
No.
Then why is it higher now than ever?
Well, it comes back to what the monk was saying. All right, they didn't have time. Like they had to go and hunt for food, or they had to build a house, or they had to do shelter.
And he's right. But I'm talking about higher than ever than it was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, but so let's go back 40 years ago.
Yeah, like
you
80s,
still had
70s.
Yeah, 70s, 80s. Like you still.
Can you
had
believe
to,
the 70s was 50 years ago, dude?
Bro, I was born in 84. I'm 40 this year. What were we saying? Yeah, so you go back to that time. That's not that long ago, but there was definitely more requirement on the individual to live, in the sense that they had to go and do difficult things to get through the day, and they wouldn't necessarily be buying into I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm this.
You still have to do difficult things.
Yeah,
today.
I know.
It's just that people are being given.
That's right. That's the message that's being sent. That's
yeah,
right.
they're like,
whereas that was never there before.
I feel a bit shit. I mustn't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I need to have a day off and have a mental health day. And me personally, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I think if you buy into the easy route out when things get hard, you will always take that route. You know what I mean? You know what I do, dude? When I feel shit, I go for a run. Like I'll go and do something. And don't get me wrong, I don't sit there like feel shit. Can't wait to go for a run. Like I have to force myself to go and get up, and I'll hate it. But go break a sweat, go have a cold shower, go do something physical that's gonna disrupt the way you feel, and see how you feel in an hour. You know what I mean? And it's easier said than done.
Absolutely, discipline.
But just get up and do it. Don't negotiate with yourself. And honestly, and I actually had this conversation with someone the other day. I can almost always now pick myself up when I'm in a rut.
That is a massive advantage and skill set.
But I've done it heaps. That's why, not because I just
one day decided.
One day decided. It's because I've done it and dude, there's been days where I've tried it and I've gone for a run and I'm still feel flat, or I'm just like unmotivated, or cannot like have to do something and don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Or you're avoiding that, putting off that task that you know that you need to do, or that call that you need to make, and you're just in a shitty down mood the whole time.
Yeah.
But I would never give myself the out of my mental health. I would say, okay, cool. How am I going to fix this? And I was more solution focused.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Do I need to? Dude, remember like last year? There was so much shit happening. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to disappear into the bush for 3 days. Yeah. And I did. I went by myself and went and camped for 3 days on my own in the bush, no signal, and just spent 3 days in nature. Came back, felt as fresh as anything.
$1,000,000.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's not to say every time you feel a little bit flat, go do that. But like, do something, man. Like you know what I mean? Don't be a victim to your circumstances.
And you can even say that from extreme scenarios too. It's hard because it's not going to be easy in an extreme scenario when you've experienced something really traumatic.
Yeah, no, it's
right. Like death of a loved one, or something really bad happening to you. All right, through external forces, whatever that is. It's not going to be easy again. But imagine what an inspiration you'll be to yourself and then to others if you get through that. And I've got like one of the core values that I think anyone can ever have, man or woman, is having a value of just being unstoppable. And I've got that on a wristband here that one of my events, I've got it as, I literally have unstoppable. It's the only one I actually wear. And it's almost like a daily reminder that nothing is going to stop me from achieving what I want to achieve, from getting through the day, from getting through the week. In any scenario, whatever it is, I will always be unstoppable. To have that unwavering belief and feeling that not even this will stop me. Not even this, not even this, not even this. And if you can have a mindset of that and trying to be the best version, the most unstoppable version of yourself, it's going to be very difficult to stop a person like that. It's going to be very difficult to bring a person like that down.
Do you have down days?
Absolutely.
What do you
Absolutely. What do I do on those days? Well, again, I always remind myself always if ever I'm having a down day. And like for me, similar to you, COVID was a difficult time for me. But every morning when I'd wake up, I'd be like, okay, got up every single day. I never stayed in bed. I got up every day. And
yeah, see, like, yeah, maybe I've never stayed.
No, I've never sat there and rolled up in a ball in a corner. I got up and did what I had to do. And I just kept saying, next week will be better. Next month will be better. Keep going. You just got to do this for 2 months. You just got to do this for 3 months, for 2 weeks, for another day. And then at the end of each day, you get to wake up again and do it again. But the idea is that you can walk through that whole day, face the shit, face the challenges, go home, rest. Okay, let's go up and do it again. We're going to do it again.
Those days when you, when making it to bed is like,
yeah, that's
I made it. Yeah,
that's
like,
it.
oh, fuck,
All right,
let's go. The day's done. Yeah.
Even then, you might still have those thoughts in your mind, but trying to practice your gratitude. That's definitely something that helps me in difficult times. Practice gratitude. Okay, cool. I can breathe. I can walk. Kids are family's good. Kids are good. I've got the roof over my head. I'm eating, and so on and so forth. So just focus on the controllables, the real basic stuff that you can genuinely do. And then go, cool, tomorrow I can do this again. You might be facing bankruptcy. You might be facing whatever, being sued or suing, like whatever it is. Ultimately, if you get to wake up the next day, it means the game isn't over. It's just a hard level. The game's not over. You can keep going. I would also, during that time as well, I was listening to a lot of podcasts, but ones that were specific with mindset and helping, like just positive things and things or tools and strategies to use during difficult things that I could do. So me listening to that helped a lot, I found back then as well. Just being, and even reading.
Yeah.
Reading books that would help give me strategies to go, okay, look, it is okay to feel like this because it happens. It's a difficult time in your life. That's what I'd harp on about with anyone. Even if I was coaching someone, they say, look, I'm really struggling. I say, look, it's good. Struggle is good. You need struggles in your life. You need to have challenges because that's going to make you a better person in the future. And that better person could be for someone you haven't even met yet. Imagine now you meet the love of your life at this moment in time when you're going through a really difficult time. Maybe you're not ready for them. But in 5 years' time, you're going to be the best version of yourself because you've gone through these difficult periods, because you've experienced all those things. So sometimes your hardships should really be celebrated.
Yeah, I think when you look back at anything that was at one point difficult in your life, yeah, like if you actually take time and you reflect and you look back at all the times when you felt like this was shit or that wasn't going your way or something felt like it was going to end your world, you know, and you actually reflect and you understand or connect the dots between what you have now that you wouldn't have had that not happened. And you actually make the connection as well. So you can see some of the positive that actually comes out of it. Mm. And then when it happens in the future, you go in with a different mindset because you start to understand that some good will come out of this. Even though I don't know what it is right now, something good is going to come from this event that seems like it's the be all end all right now, but I'll look back at this one day in maybe 3 months, maybe 3 years, maybe 30 years, and I'll be able to know what the good that came out of this was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do we fix it?
Imagine you could put out the opposite of what's going out now.
What? Say it's fake?
Maybe not to that degree. So you're saying part of the problem now is that it's being highlighted and taught.
I feel like, look, awareness.
Maybe if you could put awareness out there of the complete opposite of that. So, you know, yeah.
But so
do you know what I mean? I'm just talking out loud. But let's just say you said, Depression is fake. It's not real. Just don't believe it to be real. Here are some strategies and tools that you can use to not use it, to make sure it doesn't affect you, because it's not a real thing. It's a thought in your head that's making you think X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
no matter how. I'm just saying, like, again, imagine you could get taught that in the school curriculum, or that on TV or everywhere else.
If you were to guess, and this is, we're both going to guess here because we don't know for sure, but out of, I don't know much about depression.
Yeah.
Supposedly, depression at its core thing is a chemical imbalance in your brain that's causing you to feel in a particular way.
I'm curious to see how many people have gotten a chemical test.
That's
of
what
their
I
brain.
was. Yeah, you just went exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there is 1,000 people diagnosed tomorrow, 1,000 people get diagnosed with depression. Of that 1,000, how many of them actually have a chemical imbalance?
Yeah, and it's so true with what you said before about people buying into it. When you go and see an expert, a psychologist, a doctor, a GP, and they tell you,
dude, placebo's a real thing, man.
Yeah, like based off what you're telling me, it sounds like you have a level 1 depression or level 3 depression. I don't know.
And then if the person doesn't know any better and they think this doctor knows.
That's exactly what's wrong with me this whole time. I've just been depressed.
Oh, okay. You gave them an answer to a question they haven't been able to answer. And now it's like, okay, that must be the answer.
That's what it is. So I will
take these meds? Okay. Yeah. You're the doctor. You're very smart. You went to uni for how long?
That's it. 7 years. And
7 years.
You're smart. You know what to do. But conventional
and
medicine.
You work here at this public medical.
Like I got one of my best mates is a doctor, a GP as well. But
is he very by the book?
I think so.
Like meds and.
I think so. He's a very smart guy. I might ask him.
Intellectually smart or?
Yeah, both. No, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Get him on the pod.
Not knowing what I know about him, I'm surprised he's a doctor.
Get him.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Get him on the pod.
Can
you get him on?
Yeah, maybe. I reckon I could.
Doctor.
I'll see him.
And then we'll have this.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Is there a...
Yeah, so... what was I saying? Yeah, maybe that could be a solution, you know, what you're actually putting out there strategies to actually not get people on medication. It's not the first point of call. Don't do that first up, because there's too many people that will go on it and stay on it for the rest of their lives. I know someone who was telling me that they were on it, and then as soon as they went on it, they found it like, oh yeah, I'm on that. Oh yeah, I'm on that. I've been on it for 10 years. It's like, what? You've been having this medication for 10 years. 10 years you've been altering your body like that. Like, what sort of long-term health effects is that going to have on you? What's to say that doesn't give you fucking cancer and then you're done in 15? Okay, here's this medication. All right, antidepressant. If you take it for more than 2 years, you're going to quadruple your risk of cancer. Are you still taking it?
Me?
No, I'm just like, but you know what I mean? Who knows what the side effects are of this? What's the consequence of you numbing the pain, as you said, or putting a Band-Aid on the pain, and then someone that's taking it for 10, 15, 20 years? Surely that can't be good. Surely that can't be good to be putting something like that into your body.
I don't think taking, ideally, if you can not take, I'm a big believer in if you can not take anything other than like maybe natural supplements.
Yeah. Yeah, some vitamins and whatnot.
But ideally, do you really want to be taking something that's countering something in your body daily? Like I'm far from an expert, but dude, I read this book. I'm pretty sure it was called, don't know. I think it was Emotional Intelligence, but I can't remember if it was that book. And what they did in it was they did a study. You know placebo, right? So the whole concept of placebo is making someone believe something and then it turning out to be true. And they explain the concept, might have been a Tony Robbins book actually. They explain the concept of placebo and how it came to fruition, how they actually found out about it. And there was an early time where it might have been polio, or this was like early 1900s, I'm pretty sure, that a doctor actually ran out of medicine. He was giving these particular medicines for this thing and he ran out. and not wanting to tell his patients that he didn't have any money, had to wait for some, he was giving them fake pills. Like a
Sugar
large
pills.
percentage. Yeah, like sugar pills, yeah. And a large percentage got cured because they thought that what he was giving them was the real thing. And then that opened up the study for them to then go do... Dude, you know, have you seen even surgery? They did a study on surgery where they said, like someone come in with a crook knee and they would just slice them open and stitch them up and not do anything. And then the person's knee would heal because the person believed they had surgery. The person's like, what do you mean? Yeah, of course we did the surgery. Of course it's going to be better now. And just from the power of thinking it so much, they could do it.
Well, there's the power of your thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
If your thoughts can make you... This is a great thing. If your thoughts can make you depressed, can't they do the opposite?
100%.
So there's the answer, isn't it? If your thoughts can put you in that state of mind, can't your thoughts take you out of it?
This is what I'm saying. This is why the way we're tackling this as a society is not right.
Yes.
I don't agree with it. We're just raising awareness, which is not correct because it's in human nature to notice something that has a chance of hurting them.
Yeah. It's a survival instinct.
Yeah, it's
We've got to protect ourselves.
So if we just... like it's like telling everyone... Imagine they just told you every day, 47,000 people diagnosed with cancer today. 36,000 people diagnosed today. Like, you know what I mean? And then every single day, that's all you hear and you think, holy fuck, man. Like, I'm going to be one of these people one day.
But that's like COVID during the stats, where they're like 5,000 people have got it today, 2,000 people, 100 people have got it today. Do you remember the stats? They used to do that every single fucking day. And how much did that affect people's mind? Oh, shit, I better not go outside. We've had 20,000 cases today.
Yeah, it was insane.
When was the last time you were concerned about, like, ever heard about COVID? Do you know what I mean? When was the last time you walked out in the sense that it affected you walking out of the door?
Since then?
Yeah. Like, it's like it's disappeared, like it never happened.
I saw someone the other day and I saw her and she's like, oh, hey. And I was like, hey, and she gave me a hug. And I was like, how was your trip? She's like, yeah, it was good. She just got back. And she's like, I got COVID when I came back. And I just looked at her like, and you just fucking hugged me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, whatever.
Whatever.
You know, didn't get sick, so.
That's it. It's because you're immune.
A beast.
And it's pretend.
And placebo. I took a sugar pill.
That's it.
But yeah, man, like I think the way we're handling it is not correct. I think the way that we do it as a society is not allowing people to get what they need out of it. And instead of giving people actual strategies or ways that they can regulate or, you know, push through their mental health or how to actually feel better, man. You know what I mean? Because your thoughts impact your feelings and it's all about how you feel.
Imagine they could put out a whole bunch of content about things that, or media releases, anything, or even just curriculum at schools about how to feel good, about how to be creating positive change in yourself.
Yeah. Why does someone like David Goggins go viral?
Because I think a lot of those guys are so extreme in their thoughts. Right? You look at Tate, he's the same thing.
Yeah, but so
he went so extreme on a certain aspect of whatever it is. People hated him for it. People loved him for it.
But so Jordan Peterson's
as well. He's like a genius of the modern era.
Why, if there was no need for that, why would it get to the point that it does? Why did these people go viral? Why did David Goggins is no one. He's no one. Who is he? He's a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
That's all he is. Like, in the sense of, dude, don't get me wrong, big fan. But who is he? Like, what's he done? He just does these big runs.
Yeah, he puts himself through adversity.
That's all.
And people are impressed by that. And then his mindset behind it is like, you know, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. Who's going to carry the boats? Like, that's what his mindset is. And
isn't that a weird thing when you think about it properly?
Yeah.
Who's going to carry the boats? Like,
absolutely it is. But this is what I mean. It's an extreme to something. Like, because who runs 53 marathons in a row or runs a marathon and says, cool, let's go do 4,000 push-ups now? No one does that. So he's that next extreme. So I'm finding that a lot of these people have those really far out ideas and beliefs, and then people actually see the logic and resonate with it too. It may not mean that you need to go and run 53 marathons, but it does mean that you need to harden the fuck up.
Yeah, because it is kind of a bit of a correction.
Yeah, and that's exactly right too. It's like we've gone so far left at the moment with a lot of beliefs and values as far as what's put out there that it is. It could be that correction that people are just sick of hearing that stuff. People are sick of hearing of all these things that just really don't affect them in their life, but it's just forced down their throat because they have to.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you
There's
buy
a bit
into
left
it
too.
unknowingly.
It's like welcome to country. I reckon that's sorry if this offends you, but I reckon it's the dumbest fucking thing on the planet.
What is it?
Welcome to countries. You know, when you go to a country somewhere or people come to Australia, we'd like to thank the traditional custodians of the lands.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to country.
Yeah.
All right. If you so strongly believe about that, give it back.
Oh, why not? Yeah, dude.
Give it back to them. If you genuinely believe, don't respect them. Do the right thing. If you've stolen it, give it back.
Yeah.
Don't
If you
sit
genuinely
here-
respect
Exactly.
them, like you genuinely
Exactly.
respect them,
Give it back.
give it back.
All right. Let them run it. Kick us out. Whatever it is. Whatever you want to do, give it back. But don't fucking welcome me to my own country. Do you
But
know what I mean?
it's all
I don't want to
political.
hear. It is political bullshit. But this is what I'm saying. It's an agenda. It's not an agenda. It's something that's put forward onto us.
Have you seen?
You know, I promise you guys, we do events. I will never do a welcome to country. I will never do a welcome to country. And that's not a sign of disrespect. I'm not doing it or saying this to be disrespectful. I'm saying it because I am an Australian and I feel that I don't need to be welcomed into my own home.
But not just that. Why are you differentiating?
That's right. We're all the one person.
Yeah.
Why are you're differentiating race? That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. You're saying we need to respect this race because they were here first and we
Yeah.
invaded.
Again, overcorrection. Like in the AFL, now they have 2 Indigenous rounds.
Oh, do they? I thought they only had one.
No, I'm pretty sure they increased it now, so they could do
Oh, really?
double. Yeah.
Ah, that's
And it's
probably
like-
sell more t-shirts.
It's 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 an overcorrection. I feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not handling the issues we have at hand in the correct manner. And it's almost a little bit silly. You know,
That's what it is. It gets to that point where it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just becomes ridiculous, and people are, I think the vast majority of people are sick of it.
Yeah,
and
dude,
that's why they're relating to all these types of people that are out there in the world, going, "Nah, I believe what you're saying. I resonate with what you're saying because I'm sick of hearing all that shit. That's what's actually true."
We had to build a website. We built a website 3 or 4 months ago for a client, and on the bottom of the website, we had to put LGBT. We acknowledge the LGBTQ community, blah, 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 like all this stuff at the bottom of the website.
It was 17 pages long.
And I'm like, okay, it's your website. We'll put whatever you want. But I couldn't help but question, like, why? Like, why? I don't conform.
Yeah, that's
feel like
probably
you
the best
don't
thing to say. No, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't conform. Like, if just because everyone's doing a particular thing, and I think I've shared this with you before. Like, all my mates used to go to music festivals. I've never been to a music festival my whole life. Like, I just don't conform. It's just never been in my nature, and I feel like that's not going to be everyone.
No.
It's going to be a large percentage will, and we need to give that large percentage the right guidance, not make them aware of something that's going to hurt them, and then leave them to make their own assumptions of whether they do or don't.
Yeah.
You know, because the reality is the results haven't gotten better. The results haven't shown us that we are now if anything, we're probably worse mentally.
We're weaker.
Yeah, we're mentally weaker than we've ever been.
Yeah.
And
something I want to say, like, we're not having this convo now as experts. We're just having a conversation. That's what this is about now. It's just having an open conversation, and we're not claiming to be an expert or claiming that mental health doesn't exist and what you're feeling isn't real or your past experiences haven't been traumatic that you do or are affected. And look, some people may genuinely need medication. I'm just saying I think we're too fast to go to it and don't actually tackle the
we've made it too
proactive.
easy to do that. That's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
Not that it's not. I've said that several
We're not
times.
saying
that
it's not real. I just want to clarify because you're going to get people now that will say, "Oh, you guys are this, you guys are this," and it's not about that. We're just having discussions. But even our discussions, we can get ridiculed just for having these points of views.
Why?
Because people will, again, we're not conforming.
You know, my younger cousin, she's like 6. like she's a little girl, man. I think she's in prep or grade 1. And I was at my uncle's house, and she came and said something. She said something along the lines of being traumatized by something. I think a butterfly had come near her, and she goes, "Oh, that butterfly traumatized me." And I just looked at her and I thought, dude, I reckon I learnt the word traumatized when I was like
24.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Like 30, 31. I was so taken back by, like, you know that word already. Yeah. Like, I understand creating awareness around it, but can she give me the definition of gratitude?
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to teach one side, teach both.
Yeah.
Don't just show people the bad stuff and then wonder why they wander off to that side.
Bad sells, doesn't it? Bad sells.
Yeah, I know.
Bad gets more views.
It's not okay. And that's why the media's been trashed lately. Like, media, maybe it's just me, but I feel like lots of people don't watch.
Nah. Do you know, I turned on...
reduced amount.
I turned on The Project the other day. Have you ever watched that? What a rubbish show that is.
I know what you're talking about. It's on Channel 10, yeah?
Yeah. It's just rubbish. Just the stuff they're talking about is just absolute garbage.
Yeah. Someone told me, I had someone in the car the other day and they're like, put the radio on. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't like your music. And I was like, well, sit in silence. Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put an audiobook on. Like, I'm not going to listen to absolute trash. Like, I refuse
and that's the thing,
to let myself.
There's a lot of that they're just talking absolute rubbish as well.
Oh, it's just nonsense, dude.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they make it feel like they're changing someone's life by giving them $1,000.
Yeah. Call up and act like a monkey. Give me your best monkey impersonation. We'll give you $50.
Yeah. And it's like, this is dumb. Like, this is the blind leading the blind. But there's someone who's not blind leading everything.
That's right. That's right. That's what I was saying. Is it the evil part of people and humanity that are pushing these because it's profitable, because it gets eyes, it gets ears, it does all that sort of stuff?
There's a whole conspiracy around it.
Yeah, absolutely there is. I heard a lot of that during COVID as well. You know, that it was all the richest families in the world developed this and let it unleash on the world. So next time that there is something that can control everyone better and see what happens. And
who said someone said the other day that COVID was, the theory behind COVID was that there was too many old people and they didn't know how to get rid of them. And I'm like, dude, like, that is brutal.
Too many old people.
Too many old people, they didn't know how to get rid of them.
Too many.
And I'm like, really? They're like, why was it only killing old people? Well, probably because they're fragile. And their immune systems are weak.
Speaking about that, I was like, when you're older, there's no reason why you get fragile and weak. It's a choice you make, I reckon, as you get older. Because ultimately it comes down to you stop building health and muscle. If you keep maintaining and training and working, like, you'll be strong until the day you die.
But here's the thing.
You'll have a level of strength.
We're not taught how to build health.
No, not at all.
You know what we're taught? You know when you say to someone, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And they're like, I'm not sick. And you're like, the absence of sickness is not health, you fucking idiot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You need to be healthy. Like, go get your blood checked. Dude, I get my blood checked twice a year.
Yeah. Dude, I got it done last year for the first time. And do you know what happened? Everything came back normal. Do you know what I didn't like about that? Like, oh yeah, your blood, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal. So, okay, is there anything exceptional? Serious.
Fuck, I love that.
But why? I asked her. I go, is there anything above average?
Yeah. Like,
is there anything
anywhere where I am crushing?
Yeah. Is it like, man, your white blood cells are fucking killing it at the moment. I don't even know if that's a good thing. It's not?
No.
It's not a good thing.
White blood cells?
I don't know.
You can be anemic.
Okay, cool.
Like, when
you're white and red is doing sick job at the moment. Like, just tell me something. Your iron levels are through the roof.
Yeah, like, you are. We're going to call you Iron George from now. Next time you come in, we're going to call you Iron George because your iron levels are out of this world.
But why would people then go, oh, great, nothing wrong with me? Okay, what's good?
Yeah, fuck, that's a really good.
Isn't it?
That's sick.
Isn't it?
I'm going to go yell at my doctor.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's like, well, what do I need to do? Like, I don't want these normal levels. I want exceptional levels. What do I need to do? What do I have to look at these areas? I want a full report. Say everything's in the middle. Cool. How do I get if I got all of those items to be a 8 out of 10, what does that mean for me? Oh, mate, your hearts will be amazing, your hair will be amazing, your skin will be amazing,
They're
your
not taught
health.
to do that. They're just taught to make sure there's nothing wrong with you.
Just make sure there's nothing wrong. You
Yeah.
are not bad.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, so I'm not good. Yeah, but you're not bad.
I take my blood test results. I get them to send them to me every time, and then I compare them to like last time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I look at it, and I'm like, why did this drop? Like, what have I done? Yeah. And then I'll look up whatever that thing is. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit odd. And I'll actually look in, like, I'll
Study it.
yeah, like I don't spend fucking 40 days, but like I'll just briefly look over and compare it to the last one and just notice, like, what have I changed in my life recently? What's my last 6 months been like?
Yeah.
Have I been eating good? Have I been eating bad? What have I been, have I been hydrated? Have I been training? And just break it down, because
Yeah.
your mental health's impacted by your physical health.
Well, I think that's a great way to sort of wrap this up as well. It's ultimately, it does come down to the things that you do for yourself. Looking after yourself and being better than average in those areas. Don't accept a not bad blood test. Do you know what I mean? As a metaphor.
That's so good.
But don't accept it. Like, okay, what do I need to do? Even if you're not feeling depressed right now, all right? Well, what can you do to be exceptionally happy, exceptionally feeling good about your body, your mental, physical, spiritual health? Why do you have to settle for not being bad? Settle for more. Or don't settle. You know what I mean? Don't settle for having just the average life, the average mindset, the average body. Like, go out there and get more. And then you know what that will do as a result? You'll probably see depression go away pretty quickly.
Oh, without a doubt.
If you're crushing it in mental, physical, and spiritual health, if you're doing exceptional well in all those areas, don't you reckon that'll get rid of this whole pandemic, for a better word, of having mental health issues everywhere?
And like, when you do feel that level of sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it, it's your body's trying to, like, you're trying to be told something.
That's it. It's telling you, guys.
It's like you need to change something. You either there's something missing in your life, or you're doing something that's not allowing you to feel great, and you just got to work out what it is.
It's always telling you something. It's always speaking to you.
Don't numb it.
Yeah. And even just a small thing like this, my back would kill every time I'd wake up in the morning before I started training with weights. I've been training now for the last year and a half or so, more consistently over the last 6 months. But my back would always hurt. And it wasn't until I started training with weights. I wake up in the morning, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
Okay.
But my body was telling me, oi, your muscles around your legs and your back are no good. You're going to get sore. Like, you're nearly 40, do something about it. So ever since I've been training and now building muscle in those areas, like, my back doesn't hurt at all. And that's not a magical thing.
No, you did
It's
the work.
listening to the body. Yeah. Exactly. It's doing more than what I needed to do, because I could have quite easily. My back didn't hurt during the day. It was just in the morning when I woke up. And then once I got moving and warmed up, I was fine. But why settle for that? Why accept that that's my nature from this point on? It's a downhill spiral or downward spiral from this point on. I'm going to get to 50. I'm going to get to 60. I'm going to need a walking stick. If I get a walking stick, I want one of those ones with like a redback spider that's purely just for looks. You know what I mean? I don't want a walking stick. Yeah.
Bash people.
Just hit some old punk. What is it going to be? Gen FYQ or whatever it is by that time. Just hit someone on the head as I walk past them.
You yell at these kids.
That's
Damn
it.
kids.
That's the only reason I want a walking stick.
When I was your age.
That's it. Just yelling that to everyone.
It's an interesting topic, isn't it?
It is, and you could probably talk about it for hours upon hours. So, look, if anyone is experiencing that sort of stuff, difficult times and difficult experiences, definitely reach out to someone that can help you, but genuinely help you, look after your best interests, and understand that you know you more than anyone else ever will. You don't have to accept what someone's telling you. And I'm just going to finish with this too. I remember I was listening to Grant Cardone's story, and he was telling me when he was in his 20s or mid-20s, early 20s, whatever it was, he was a drug addict, and he would take drugs every day, marijuana, the works. He would drink, he would do everything. And he got checked into rehab. And as he left, he goes, "We'll see you next." He goes, "See you soon." And he turns around and he goes, "Like, what do you mean?"
That's how
he goes,
you'll be back. Yeah.
You'll be back. All right. And Grant took that with the biggest chip on his shoulder. And he's like, he goes, "I'll fucking show you." He goes, "I'm never coming back here, man. You've got no idea." And they were trying, even when they were there, like feeding him drugs. And he stopped. He goes, "No, I don't." He goes, "I've come in here to get off drugs. Why are you giving me drugs?"
Yeah, the whole system's...
But that's him having that awareness and thinking. And mind you, he was a druggie back then. Like, he was addicted. He was going into somewhere to get off drugs, and they were giving him drugs. And it's like, what are you guys doing? And when he finally checked out 2, 3, 4 months later, 6 months later, it's like, oh, we'll see you soon. And he's like, you will never see me again, mate. You will never see me again. Okay, the only time you're going to see me now is when I'm a billionaire, all right? And you're going to be coming to me. Yeah, you'll be seeing me on your Facebook feed. That's the only place. So if you are experiencing difficulties, definitely find help, find resources, and do what you need to do to get yourself right.
And always seek a second opinion.
Yeah.
You know, always don't just take the first thing someone tells you. Because if I did that day, man, I would have thought I was depressed.
Yeah.
And I would always look to seek a second opinion and take the results in and have a good think about it myself, you know? And yeah, I just think if we all start to raise awareness around how we can make this better,
we will.
I think that will be the improvement we need.
Great. Mate, it was a good episode. Powerful,
Very.
I think. And I hope everyone listening, in no matter what state you're in, good or bad, I hope you got something out of this and that it helps you on your journey to be the best version of yourself, not just the average version of yourself. Because life's too small. Life's too short to be small.
Stop playing small.
Stop playing so small. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hit that subscribe button, top right-hand corner.
Top right-hand corner.
Share it with someone.
Leave a review.
Let
us know as well. I will pop there'll be notes left somewhere. You'll find them. And there'll be a place where you can ask us questions, where you can leave some topics, things you want to hear us discuss. I'll leave a couple of links in there for you as well. And if there's anyone who, I guess, specializes in any of these topics that we've covered that wants to pop on the podcast, there's now be a guest on our podcast listed on our website, milliondollardays.com.au. You can go on there, you can opt in to be a guest, and we'll get it. And if we think you're a good fit, we'll get in touch and organise a time to get you in.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's great because it opens up that conversation.
Yeah.
Again, because we're not the expert in these fields. We're just having an open conversation, two mates talking here about our past experiences, what we've seen, what we've felt, and having that discussion with everyone. But if someone came in here now and said, no, George, you're actually completely wrong, we'd be more than happy to have that conversation.
Xanax is good for you.
Yeah, that's it. I'm the CEO. Where's the CEO of Xanax?
CEO of Pfizer.
That's it. Pfizer. He'd be dying to get onto this show, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I reckon he's probably one of our main listeners.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you listening, and tune in next week because we're not stopping. Hey, is this episode 20 yet?
Oh, yes, this is 21.
Shit, we missed it last one.
There you go. Episode 21.
Guys,
so we're in the top 1%.
We are in the top 1% of podcasters in the planet, possibly the universe.
Thank you.
Thank you for making
supporting us.
for making it a dream come true. Do you know what, though? The funny thing is, even if you weren't listening, even if we had 0 listeners, we still would have got
I'm pretty sure we might have 0 listeners.
We still might.
Yeah.
But one day.
Yeah, we'll get one.
One day.
We'll catch someone.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.